comment, like, and subscribe. Hey, good morning, YouTube. So look, there's a different car here. You're probably watching the latest video I've got of Linwood's convertible, Vert. Well, he came and picked it up last night, and he was ecstatic about it. He was real happy. Like I figured with the radio was probably the coolest part. He did like all the lights working. I told him how I got the more boost in it and the breathers and all that. Just made it nicer for him and ready to go. Windshield wipers, the whole thing. And but the air conditioner working was the biggest thing because it was so hot. Anyway, so he dropped off his other car. This is his 97 GT. As you know, it looks very similar to the TTSaleen here. Twinning. A lot of black Mustangs in here today. But the reason this is here is for two things. One, he needs an oil change, which I'm going to change it. He brings me his oil and filter. He writes Mobile 1. But the other thing, the big problem is he has 0 brake lights and 0 turn signals. And when that happens on these cars, oh, and no hazard lights. When that happens, typically it's right here. It's called the turn signal multifunction switch. And it's this right in here. I'm gonna have to take that off and change it. I have a new one coming. It should be here today. So I'm gonna go ahead and change the oil first. And then I'm gonna start pulling that contraption off, so we can change that out, hopefully fix all his lights, because right now it's a hazard. He almost got ran over coming here because he had no brake lights. So definitely got to fix that. But this is a cool car, kind of reminiscent of the 90s, what you'd have for a build with a GT. Take a GT, throw a Saleen wing on it and some Saleen wheels, lower it down, tint the windows. This one has a built engine. It's a 4.6 2-valve with a Vortec V2 supercharger with the aftercooler kit on it, which is really cool. I had this exact combination years ago in the TTSaleen before it became a twin turbo car. And mine with this on it made over 700 horsepower, and it was pretty rowdy. But anyway, this is it. It's a cool car, reminiscent again of the 90s. I'm gonna go ahead and do the oil change, fix the lights on it, and I'll try to show you in this video how to do that. So if you have a car like that and all of a sudden the stuff quits working, that'll be how to fix it. But I hope you enjoyed the last video in the convertible. I drove it around, made sure it was ready to go for him. Clearly he won't drive it like I do, but he built it to drive like that. It's got a McLeod twin disc clutch in it. The turbo's capable of more boost. He could probably get away with 15, 16 pounds of boost on that thing on pump gas, but even at 11 or 13, he's not gonna use it anyway. He might feel it when he goes to merge one day on the highway, but you know, he doesn't drive like that. He just wants to have the potential. So he's got a lot of money in the car. It's a really cool car. And a few things we're gonna tweak on it, like some heat shielding and all that. Just keep the underhood temps down if we can. By comparison, this car does really well. It's got a cowl hood on it. It vents some of the heat out, but it's nowhere near as hot as those twin turbos. But this car made, I think it made 575 or something. At this boost level. It's been years, so I don't remember exactly, but I think this one was around mid to high 500s. So right now, the way I got this convertible set at 13 pounds, they should both be very similar in power, somewhere between 550 and 600, which is awesome for street cars. All right, stay tuned. Draining the old oil out. I've already changed the filter, sprayed it, wiped it off. Of course, all these AC compressors aftermarket leak around the house, and this one's no different. I sprayed back here by the rear seal. Apparently that's leaking a little bit too. But overall, typical. I get this oil drained out, put the plug back in it, and then fill it up from the top. All right, pretty easy. Has a stock oil pan, so it takes 6.5 quarts of oil. Basically what I do is I put 6 in it, I crank it, let it run for like 30 seconds to pump oil, not only through the filter, but also through the supercharger and back down, and then check it, and then add the remaining, just so it's a little over half to 3/4 way on the factory dipstick, which I did, wiped everything off. So that part is easy and done. And what's funny is I did this car a few months back when I did my video on it. And right here you can see, I did it back in January. and he's not put any miles on it. He's put about, I don't know, 866. He's put about 300 miles on it since January. So that's why the oil looks so clean when it came out, because there's really no miles on it, but it's fine. I'm gonna take the sticker and change it, and then he'll be good for another 6 months. But yeah, pretty cool. I'm just waiting for my switch to come in so I can fix that. All right, now to fix the real problem with the lights not working because the multifunction switch is dead. First thing you do is unhook the battery. In this car, the battery's in the trunk. So I took the lid off, unhooked the positive side. I don't have any voltage. Then you come in here. First thing you want to do is take an 8mm socket, remove 2 screws at the bottom of this cover, one here and one there. And then we're gonna drop it out of the way. Like that. That's there. And then pull this down like that. We'll get this out of the way. Put it over here for now. And that just gives us more access to the bottom here, which we shouldn't need to take the metal plate off. All right, and then what I like to do is pop out this cover. So you pull the headlight switch off, move that out of the way, and then there's 2 screws up here. Those are like a star head, so I'll remove those, and then this literally pops out. And if we take the tilt, move it down, that gives us access to get this off. So there's a few steps to get that off, but I'll go through it in a second. One thing I noticed when I popped these off, these 2 Christmas tree fasteners here were broke off into the metal reinforcement. So get you some super glue, push it on there, get it really tacky, stick them down, and then let it dry. And by the time I finish this switch project, which will be a couple hours, still waiting on the part, those will be dry, ready to snap back into place. Just a little trick, because this plastic is old. I mean, you're talking 1997, so this plastic's 28 years old. But yeah, it's easy to fix. Now what you need to do is get your T15 fitting. And this will allow you to go in here and take this top piece off I was talking about. Get my light just right so you can see it. Tilt this down. Then we go in here. Take this. There's that one. There's that one. Okay. Get those out of here. Put them down here, and then literally you just kind of pull against it like that, all the way around, and then that will gently come out. And we're only doing that so I've got access so this comes off. So next we'll tilt our wheel up here just so I can get under it. What we're gonna do is gonna put the key in the ignition, and we're gonna turn it forward to the run position. And what we have to do now is we have to stick something right here. There's 3 holes under the bottom here. This middle one, we need to put a rod or something in there. There's a check ball. Need to push up on it, and then this whole lock assembly will pop right out. Let me get a rod for that. All right, so just take a little tool, push it in here, and as you're pushing, pop it, and look, it starts to loosen. Pull your tool out of the way, and then you move the whole lock assembly like that. We'll stick it over here out of the way. Now we'll take a Phillips screwdriver and we'll remove the Phillips screws here that hold this on, and then we can separate the bottom clamshell from the top. Also, just to make it easier, we can unscrew the tilt here. If it doesn't unscrew easy, you can take like a pair of vice grips, needle nose, put them in here, grab it, and twist that out of the way. Alright, once you get the screws out of this, you pull it down, it leaves this open. You can pop this up like that, so you can get the screw. There's a screw here at the top and another screw down here at the bottom, and I think I can pop this off. Yep, just have to wiggle it a little bit. That'll make it easier. Now I can get all that off. remove those 2 screws. They're star-headed screws. And then we pull this off. There's electrical connections. We just pop those out. Then this comes right out. I'll take our T20 bit. We'll go in here. Get right there. Like that. And then unscrew it. That's the top one. And we'll hit this bottom one down here. It's hard to do it left-handed. I'm not left-handed. Okay, you saw the screw jump out. All right, now we have the multifunction switch loose, and all I have to do now is take a little screwdriver, flat blade, and I'll pop these connections off. And then this is the culprit. This is why the lights aren't working. As soon as my new one comes in, it's a simple plug and repeat, put everything back together, and I'll skip all that, and I'll show you the finished product. So basically I just use a flat blade and prise up right here and pops them right out. So that's what you should have. Just wiggle this cover over out of the way to have room. Other people may do it different ways, but that's the way to do it without breaking anything. And then we'll just wait for our new one to come in. All right, just got my replacement in. It's a Dorman. There's the part number for you. Came off of Amazon. Open this thing up. They didn't spend a lot on the packaging though, but there it is. We'll compare it to the one I took out. Make sure all the plug orientations and everything looks the same, and it does. But basically I'm going to plug this in and make sure it works. We'll put it all back together. Reverse of what you saw me take it apart. So give me just a second. Alright, so I installed the switch, basically plugged in the wires, tightened up the 2 screws, and just popped the top cover back on, slid the ignition module back in, and now I'm going to hook up the battery. We're going to test it real quick before we put all of our trim back on. So let's take this, put that up there. Alright, got voltage on the hazard lights. See them blinking there. Right here. In the back and the front. Nice. And as I push the brake, you can see it lighting up on my wall. And I've already tested the turn signals and all. As you can see, I got it all back together now. And it is good to go. So the multi-function switch is a very common problem on these cars. You need to make sure you check your fuses. There's a brake light switch by the pedal. There's a relay right by the fuse box, the flashing module relay. And yeah, other than that, works great. I will tell you, some of these cars, even if your fuse is good for the brake lights, it's a 15 amp fuse, make sure you got voltage from there to the brake pedal, because if you don't have voltage there, the whole circuit won't work. The windshield wipers all work, but the brake lights and hazards all won't work. So you have to check that, make sure you don't have a breakdown in there. Once you fix that, you should be good to go. Hope you like this quick video. Like I say, you've seen this car on my channel before. Last time you saw me out driving it. It runs really good for what it is. Sounds good, cammed and all, but he's got these obnoxiously loud mufflers on here like he does on the other one. I think they're the Borla attacks, but they are just, I don't know. I like mine a little more contained, but either way, he likes it. That's all that matters. All right, guys. Talk to you soon. Thanks for hanging out with me. Pipe and Borla muffler makes it loud, but it rides good, steers good. You can hear the supercharger a little bit. so loud. It's hard to get on it anywhere if I'd attracted every cop within 2 miles. I don't like them that loud. Seriously. That is just obnoxiously loud. But you know what? It ain't my car, so he can have it loud as he wants. It's just, I do a lot of street outlaw stuff, cutting up on the street and raising hell. And you gotta be a little bit incognito to do that. This is definitely not incognito. Alright. Hope you liked the quick video. Not much else to say. The light's working. Here's the turn signal's working. Hazard light's working. Brake lights, everything's good to go. The reason it came to me in the fresh oil change. I checked the tire pressure and everything else. Got the air conditioning on. Everything's working beautiful in this car. Just like you'd expect. Till next time.